Hey guys, Greg Medford Knife, MKT USA. What's going on? I want to give you a preview. Some of you have seen the Suicide Swift, which is our Praetorian Swift model with no safety. Wanted to show you our other knife, which is the Praetorian Swift with the safety feature. Let you guys just have a little tiny preview of it. You know, I was thinking, I got this cool nifty oil here from somebody. I was thinking of putting this little drop of oil in here just for fun. I wonder if that would change anything. That's kind of fun. Feels exactly the same. So, this knife is without coatings. It is not 100% like my coatings test models are back. This knife is raw, and it is, I think it's one of the coolest knives I've ever, it's one of the coolest knives I've ever made. It's one of the coolest knives I've designed. So, I want to give you an idea how this knife compares to the Praetorian. So here's the story with this, okay? I was looking to do an auto. I thought I would, basically take my Praetorian line and repackage it in an auto format. Wanted to make something that was a little more everyday friendly pocket carry and didn't have the same width as a Praetorian. Praetorian's quite wide, it's got a really, almost 2-inch wide blade. I wanted to do something a little narrower. So we went with something that was mid-sized instead of full-sized, and we went with a narrower style knife. So this doesn't have the clip on it yet. It's got a single screw and hook style clip. This is the Praetorian Swift. I've been asked about it a bunch. Here it is. Now in 4-flute format. It's got an integral back strap. That's not a separate piece. It's a pocket the blade is in that's milled out of one of the sides. The second side is bolted on from the front. So this knife, the whole concept here was a really clean chassis with no bumps or anything around the outside to catch on. So it doesn't have a breaker. Now on a little knife like this, you don't necessarily want a breaker because your hand's already right there and you're putting your hand through the glass. I know we've got it on some smaller knives, but I just wanted to go with a slicker, lighter, smooth down. I was thinking about like a 1972 Ford F100 that's in the short bed Ranger platform, the Ranger upscale model with all the trim. And I like those trucks. I like them lowered down, made a little slender. I like all the chrome pulled off of them. I like them kind of minimized. And the minimalist line to me, the aesthetic is the most intriguing and attractive to me. So I wanted to do the same thing with the Praetorian Genesis. So I take this knife and I took it in a drawing and I basically reduced its vertical proportion by about 25%. What I ended up with was this model. Now when you scale stuff, when you stretch things, when you distort them, it creates some spatial relationships that may or may not look great. And that's where I make subtle adjustments to bring it all back to that pleasing, balanced aesthetic. So to talk a little bit about this knife, okay? It's clearly a button-locked mechanism. It uses a button lock for its retention. It's a positive lock, not a detent. You can pull on this pretty friggin' hard, and it stays in. You press the button, the blade deploys, and then it's fully in the lock position. Nothing else is required. Some people, some places, and some groups like a little extra safety. So the safety that we put on this is a really cool little mechanism. It's very simple. It's all titanium. So here it is. We're going to engage the safety and we push on the lock mechanism. Nothing happens. It's a really tough little mechanism actually. We take the safety off, push on the button, knife goes out. Again, in the lock position, nothing. You can push on it. It's very safe in your pocket. Take the knife out, disengage the safety, press the button, it flips. Once it's out, you can put the safety in place and you'll find that the button's no longer hittable by having the safety engage. And you'll feel it kind of break free and slide over, so when you go to hit on it, you get nothing. And that way the knife can't collapse. It's really almost impossible without doing this 2-step hands-off process first. Break and disengage. So the knife will stay safety locked in the closed or safety locked in the open position. But to give you a little close-up, I'll show you the lock. Disengaged, lock engaged. It's very cool the way it works. I love the mechanism. We put it together and I was like, oh. I mean, I just thought it was so neat. So it's got on first appearance this very Praetorian look to it, which is why I call it the Praetorian Swift. It's why it's not called the something new Swift. But on closer examination, you find it's a much more slender, more pocket-friendly style of knife. It will have a bent, flat. So this knife's got a little bit of play in it right now because the bearings are running against a soft blade that has not been hardened yet. The sides are 6061 T6 aluminum billet that's been milled down. So you have all of these soft, uncoated finishes that are interacting. This knife will be like our Smooth Criminal in that it has no play. It's going to be a zero play knife once it's done. This knife will not have wiggle or play in the deployed position. There should be no wiggle or play in any position ever on this knife. Whether it's in the closed or whether it's in the open position, there should be. I mean, this knife's fantastic now, and it's just rough together. And I want to be clear about this. This isn't like, although it's a prototype, this is a done pre-production model, and we're going to run 100 pre-production models. This is it done. Super cool. Very proud of it. The team did a lovely job. I couldn't be happier with the outcome. Anyways, it's called the Praetorian Swift with the suppressed safety. We call it the Suicide Swift. Those 100 will be available. Now, the caveat is you're going to need to sign a thing when you buy this knife, the first 100, that says you're not going to resell it. And if you don't like that, it's totally okay. Don't buy the knife. It'll only be available to Centurions. No one's going to be buying and reselling for a profit. It is a pre-production model that does not go to the public because it doesn't have safety. It is called the Suicide Swift. It'll be numbered 1 through 100. They'll be registered to the user. They will be devoid of warranty, service, or any follow-up ever if they're in anyone else's hands. These are meant absolutely for my very closest, most trustworthy customers who I know are going to be cool with having the knife. Guys are going to say that's crazy. Guys are going to say it's stupid. I'm going to get ridiculed. I don't care. That's how I'm releasing the knife without the safety. It's just to my closest, most engaged customers, and it's not for resale or profiteering. Now, after they're available, you can do whatever you want. They're free, it's a free country and it's property, and you can do with it as you like. But for these first 100, if you want in on them, you're going to agree to not resell it because it's just for you. Be kind of cool. So it'll be super exclusive, and I probably won't make them again. If I do, oh well. If my lawyers change their mind and decide we should make an automatic that doesn't have a safety on it and say it's okay, well then I will. We'll see how that goes. But in the meantime, we're going to make 100 of them just for you Centurions, and it'll always be your knife. It can't go to anyone else. Hope I couldn't be any clearer. If you don't want to agree to that, then it's really simple. You just wait a couple of months for the one with the safety on it to come out, and you get that one. It's easy. I can still take care of you. Don't be mad at me. Now, I want to talk about one other thing about this knife. So, a lot of guys, this isn't tuned. The bearings are running against soft metal. The action on it, for me, is fantastic. This is what I want out of an automatic knife. I want it to open up by pushing the button, and I don't want it to fall out of my hands. Now, even when I push a button of a really heavily loaded and energetic automatic knife and the blade just comes out like a bat out of hell, I'm always like you get this little excitement. It's like revving a car engine up. But it's really not what I want out of a knife. I don't want a big noise. I don't want an overstressed spring, stop pin, or part within my tool. I want it to open up when I push the button always and for years and years and years to come. So, I don't have no knock on you guys that want to do big springs in your knives. I could do a big spring. It's pretty easy. I've tried them both ways, and I just don't like it. And since my name's on the knife and on the front of the building, and it's a free country that you don't have to buy my product, I'm going to make it my way. And my way, I'm going to piss off 1 in 20 of you who think that an automatic is the fastest possible smacking out blade that makes the most obnoxious, penis-compensating sound imaginable. And for those of you who are like that, you will either buy the knife because you like it so much you're willing to deal with Greg Medford's persnickety nature, or you'll change it and put a heavier spring in it, to which you'll avoid the warranty, or you'll say, fuck Greg Medford, I'm going to go buy one from ProTech. And I'll go, it's okay, it's free country. For everybody else, what you're going to get is a knife that's got longevity and it's got a lifetime of serviceability, use, and support from me. Because the most important thing about your tool is not that it makes a great whack while you're wearing your hipster jeans, your skinny jeans, and your hipster shoes, and your faux beard, because you've never been to combat. Your faux beard, it's perfectly groomed. While you got your faux going on, your faux manhood, I actually want the most important thing to be that for years and years and years, while you're fauxing it up, the knife just deploys for you and works really, really well. And for the guys who aren't faux, you're authentic, then you're not obsessed with the absolutely gay affectation for flack. I mean, I like flack as much as the next guy, but I really want it to work. Contrary to popular opinion, when you rack a shotgun, robbers don't run. They actually run when you shoot. So flacking out your knife, I'm not really into flacking off. I'm into the knife deploying really well and reliably for years and years and years. So if you know that my raison d'etre is for reliability and usability and serviceability and practical manly preparedness and reliability, you'll approve. If you're obsessed with whack, well, then you'll disapprove of me. And you won't like my Ford F-250, and you won't like my Ford F-100, you won't like my simple sneakers, you won't like my pragmatic walk, and you won't like that I don't wear rings. But that's the lovely thing. It's a free country. You can make your choice.